Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here, and if you are, please make sure to go and hit subscribe. And yeah, let's jump right in. So today's video, I'm basically just going to talk a bit about festivals. What to bring, what to do when you're there, how to survive if it's cold, all that type of stuff. I decided to do this because obviously if you live in Ireland, you're probably aware Electric Picnic is next weekend. And for a lot of people, Electric Picnic is like their first kind of camping festival. I know it was mine anyway, some years ago. So I think obviously like going to a festival for your first time can be quite like especially camping, if you've never camped before, it can be a bit like, oh my god, what do I do? In the lead up in the last few weeks to Electric Picnic, I've had loads of people messaging me who like that have said, hey, I'm going to my first camping festival EP, like any advice on like what to bring, blah blah blah. And I think even people who have been to festivals before, like this will probably help as well. So it's just like, why not do it? I mean, I've definitely learned some tips and tricks over the years that's like helps me on my walk in, etc. So the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to start with like what to pack and just kind of my general kind of tips for like surviving and hygiene and all that kind of stuff. And then what I've also done is put like question things on my Instagram so that if anyone had any like specific kind of questions, they could ask me there and I can answer them here. Also, I got my braids done today. I love them. This is for EP because hey, my color theme scheme is lime green for the weekend. But okay, so I'm gonna start with obviously what to pack. I feel like this one is actually important because a lot of people overpack. I know the first kind of few festivals I went to, I brought so much stuff that was just unnecessary, and I feel like I've now got it to a point where I literally pack the essentials and that is it, because I hate myself every time like at the end of a festival I'm like, I didn't use that and it took so much space up in my bag, or I didn't use that and it was so heavy to carry in, you know. So yeah, I think your basics anyway is obviously your tent, your sleeping bag. A lot of people bring chairs. I've actually never brought a chair to a festival because all of my friends just bring them and I either sit on the grass or I end up using someone else's. So it's just never really been an essential thing to me, but like it is an essential thing to have around the campsite, so I'd probably say get a chair. So then other things I have a little list that I wrote down because it's very hard to remember off the top of your head, especially when you're packing. So that's another thing. My best advice when you're packing for a festival is write a list and like start like obviously EP is next weekend, so write this list now, and as the days go on like builds to it, so that then the night before you can literally check it off, because there is quite a lot of stuff you have to bring, so it's important not to forget anything. So yeah, so we have tent, sleeping bag, chair. Some people bring those sleeping mats. I brought one the first year I went to Electric Picnic. I don't really see them that necessary. Like I actually don't think I've brought one since, just because I ended up leaving it there and it's just creates more waste and I just don't really think it's that necessary. But that's another thing to bring if you're not like up for just sleeping on the tent ground. But yeah, then other things that I have in like basics on what to bring is baby wipes, tissues, makeup remover, and a blanket. So I sometimes bring a blanket just to put on, like if there's rain forecast, I'll put like a blanket on the floor so that I'm not sleeping directly on the ground of the tent, as opposed to a sleeping mat, because sleeping mats messy to carry home if you are, you know, like if it's soaked. Is where a blanket you can shove it in a plastic bag and just bring it home and wash it. And obviously I know so many people just leave festivals, but please bring your tent home and bring your sleeping bag home, because it just creates so much mess and like environmental issues, because tents are like, obviously you can't recycle them. I know at EP they do give them to homeless people, but still they can't give all of them because like they're broken and whatever. So no matter what state your tent is in, bring it home. If it's broken, like dispose of it yourself. I just don't think it's fair to leave a festival where like what 50,000 people or so go. So the other thing I have kind of in relation to that previous point about reducing your waste, I always bring like black sacks, and it is impossible to try and get everyone around your campsite to throw their stuff into black sacks unless everybody is in the same mindset as you in keeping your waste like low and stuff like that. I know at Body and Soul this year we managed to do it until about Sunday, like everyone actually was like conscious enough, and then the Sunday it kind of went out the window, but we still had bags from the weekend, so it was like less waste than like it would have been. So, and then we were able to just throw our bags in the bins at the end of the weekend. So that, and then as well for waste reduction, I would say bring a reusable bottle instead of plastic cups, and try not to bring straws for obvious reasons. We all know, reduce your plastic, but also I just feel like reusable bottles are more handy because your drink doesn't spill. So get yourself a reusable bottle this week if you don't have one already, and even bring a reusable bottle for water as well. I know I don't like bringing my good reusable water bottle just because I'm a liability, and I'd either like clean it over the weekend or like pour vodka into it, and I just feel like that kind of stuff doesn't really come out. You kind of have to throw them out afterwards. So what I did going to All Together now this year was on the way down I bought like a 1.5 litre plastic bottle of water, which was obviously full when I bought it, and then I just reused that like all weekend to fill up my water, and it just means that you're staying hydrated as well, because that's another thing. Water, unless you're getting it from the taps at festivals, very expensive. Like I know All Together now for like 500 milliliters of water, it was like one for €3 or two for €5, and even when you refill them you have to keep going back. So at least if you just have like a 1.5 litre bottle of water, like hydration is key to like getting rid of hangovers, so that's key. So that's for like water and stuff like that. In terms of food, and a lot of people have actually, I got a message saying what food do you bring as a vegan to festivals. One is like weird for me because I used to be that girl that brought like a picnic for like every day of the festival, but I just found like especially this year, maybe because I wasn't like last year when I went to festivals, I was either saving to go away or I just got home, so I was very low on cash. So this year I've obviously been like working full time and stuff, so I have a bit more money, so I've actually just brought very little food to any festivals this year. Like I actually, to All Together now, I don't think I brought any food, and to Body and Soul I think I brought like maybe some crisps or something. That's something I think I will bring though. I'm obsessed with Chili Heatwave Doritos at the moment, and they're the only Doritos that are vegan, so winning. But I'm gonna bring a few bags of those, and that'll probably be it, because I just find, for me anyway, there's so much options and variety and gorgeous stunning vegan food that I don't want to eat the food that I bring when I bring food. But I mean, obviously if you're going on a budget, like in other years where I've like brought my own food, I think the best thing to do is bring, like, especially if there's any vegans, I used to bring sachets of couscous, and then just brought like this cup that says I love camping, and I used to just put the couscous in it every day and then just go to somewhere with hot water and ask them to put hot water in it, and then that would be like my breakfast or like my lunch or whatever, and then I would just have like one meal, because if you do that then like you're literally only spending like €30 on food. And then in terms of other snacks to life, I got these like raw bars which were kind of similar to Naked bars, but they were like Aldi's version, so I brought those to life, and they were really good in the morning, because I just think it is, I know sometimes when you wake up at a festival, very hard to get yourself to eat, but it's really so important to make sure you, like, even if it's first thing when you wake up, try and just drink a litre or 2 litre or probably even more of water, and just down it and go and get yourself a meal and then start drinking. So then the other thing I have to pack, and I just think this is so important, even if you don't have hay fever or any allergies, bring antihistamines and bring eye drops. Like, I actually do suffer pretty bad with hay fever, especially this year. It's never been as bad as it was this year. All Together now, I actually was walking around like this on the Sunday because I couldn't see out of this eye, and I was like, guys, I literally can't see, and nobody had eye drops. I'd been taking antihistamines, and then I get this thing when my allergies are really bad where like my face swells, and I woke up on the Monday and I was like, oh my god, like my face was so swollen. Not as bad as when my face blew up at Life like 3 years ago. I ended up having to go and just buy anti-inflammatories, so I'd say just bring as much like medical kind of stuff as you can. And like, even if there's a group of you going, like maybe say one person bring hay fever tablets, maybe another person bring the eye drops, another person bring like paracetamol. So I'd say bring anti-inflammatories as well, bring painkillers, because you never know what could happen. And I also have here Diorolite, because it just hydrates you basically, and if you're feeling really rough, it could be the thing that brings you back to life. I also have like bring like a little light or something, but I just don't really feel like that's that key, because like obviously you have a torch on your phones. So I think that would be my kind of like, when I pack anyway, that's everything that would be on my list. So then the next bit that I'm gonna do is like how to pack and how to fit everything in. You go back and watch some of my vlogs where I was packing for other festivals. I kind of got it down to a T this year. So what I do to fit everything in as like easily as possible, I bring like a massive suitcase and my rucksack, which I brought traveling last year. What I do is I put all of my shoes, my drink, maybe some snacks, and also my tent into the massive suitcase. So as you can imagine, it's a pretty big suitcase, and it's always pretty hard to wheel, but like it's better than having it on my back. Bring the suitcase, and then in my rucksack I always put my sleeping bag at the bottom, and then all of my clothes in and my makeup in there. And the thing with those is they fit so much more than you would think they fit. So it's all about just rolling your clothes small and like using every inch of space possible. The number one tip I think as well, when you're packing for any festival, no matter what the forecast, I've always done it since my first electric picnic. My mom was like, do this just in case, and I've done it like every festival since. I always have 3 plastic bags, and I have my day 1 outfit in one plastic bag, my day 2 outfit in another plastic bag, and my day 3 outfit in the third plastic bag, and then a small like sandwich bag or something with all my underwear, just so that if it does rain, if your tent does get really wet, like at least your clothes are dry, because there's nothing worse than wet clothes. And actually at Life last year, me and Connor forgot to put the thing over the top of our tent, and like it had a little netting bit, and like we woke up the next morning and there was like raindrops like falling on me, and like our tent was soaked but all my clothes were dry. So it works. I think those are kind of my tips for like packing, and that would be how I like fit everything in. I just bring 2 gigantic bags, and everyone always looks at me like I'm insane, but like I don't care, it gotta be done. So I think what I'll do now is just move on to the questions, because I can answer, like I can give more tips kind of from the questions. So I'm gonna grab my phone, start answering. But what camping equipment do you bring? Blow up mattress or rollout, etc. So I think I kind of answered that already when I was talking about what I pack. I'm very like, if I can get away with bringing the bare minimum, I literally will. I do not mind sleeping on the ground if it means I don't have to carry a blow up mattress and excess camping gear. So I literally bring the bare minimum, just my sleeping bag, and it always does me fine. When I'm like drunk at a festival, I get back to my tent and I'm cold, like I just wrap myself in every piece of clothing I can find in my tent and I'm fine. I actually don't really care where I sleep when I'm drunk. So someone said, what are your favorite places to get festi clothes? That's obvious. Like I obviously love Dolls Kill. I think majority of my outfits this festival season have been from Dolls Kill. Their favorite, and she's actually saved my life because PLT just like cancelled my whole order and ruined my life, Beba Apparel, and she's obviously an Irish brand, and it's amazing to support Irish brands. In terms of like jewels and stuff, obviously go check out Festi Fox for like face gems. I think her last day for orders for EP I think is Tuesday. All my gems this year, I've been very low on glitter because obviously it's bad for the environment. Festi Fox is great for gems and stuff as well. What can't you get by without? Okay, I actually just realized when I read this that I forgot a major thing to bring to a festival, and that is your portable charger. I can't get by without my portable charger because I like having my phone all the time. I think it's important to have your phone all the time at a festival, because if you get lost you need to be able to contact people. Bring 3 so that you have one for every day. I always have my portable charger, and when the charger dies I try to charge it straight away so that I can charge my phone again. So I try to just maximize or minimize the time I'm without my phone. How do you fit everything in? Help. So I think I answered that one just there. Roll your clothes small. You don't need all the things you think you need. How not to get all nasty without showers. And someone else said, how do you stay fresh, like shower wise? Okay, I am very against showering at festivals, only because I just feel like showering at a festival is dirtier than not showering at a festival, because you like how many people use those showers in one day? Like, that just freaks me out. And I would have to have sliders. I actually always bring sliders to a festival as well, so that's another thing. Bring sliders, especially this year. It's been so hot at festivals. I just need to let my feet breathe in the mornings, and I actually brought a bikini to All Together Now, which was stunning because when it was so hot in the morning, I just like lay in my bikini. Back to answering how to stay fresh. So what I do is baby wipe shower. I do that all over. If you're feeling particularly stanky, I go to the taps and just like get water and like wash my armpits, and obviously just like loads of deodorant and loads of body spray and just masks your smell. But I also think like everyone's in the same situation, so nobody actually really cares. Like, everyone's having a good time as well. Once you don't smell horrific, nobody's gonna be like, ew, that bitch smells. Someone said, I love going out, etc., but find the rollover so tough, especially in a tent. Any tips? I don't really know with this one, because like, although I always feel rough when I wake up at a festival, I just try to power through it. Like, and actually another girl asked me, I'll find the message now, how do you get your energy back the next morning to start the day again? I'd be so drained the next day. So it's kind of the same thing, like, how do you get up and do it all again, I guess. I think for me, like, whenever I'm like hungover or in bits, I think the key thing here actually is just loads and loads of water. Go for a walk around, get yourself some food, have your baby wipe shower, and then put your makeup on. Like, don't even attempt to do your makeup before you've had food or before you've like freshened yourself up a bit, because I think that's like key to just being able to do it all again. So, and then on the Monday, like, I always just, I'm like, this is like 3 days of my life. I'm here for 3 days. I'm gonna feel fine in a few hours. And I think you do, like, once you start drinking again, you're actually fine. And then you just know that Monday you're just gonna die. So like, I just push through it knowing that I have Monday to die. How do you remove your makeup at festivals? I always struggle. So I have spoken about my chamomile oil before. I'll find it now. This is my chamomile oil. It is by the Body Shop, and I actually use this in, well, this is like a butter form, but I use the oil form literally every single night without fail to take off my makeup. It just literally removes every ounce of makeup off your face. And what I normally do when I'm at home or like anywhere with a tap is you put it on your face and all your makeup literally just lifts off when you rub it off with a face cloth. Obviously you don't have that luxury at a festival, so what I do is I'll show you the butter form. So that's it there, and I just literally take a few bits of that, rub it all over my face, and then just use a makeup wipe, because I hate makeup wipes. At least they're wet at a festival to take it off. So I do that. Ain't gonna lie, I'm not the best at doing it before I go to sleep, because when I'm tired, I'm so tired that I just fall asleep. Anything oil based will take your makeup off so well, and even take off glitter so well as well. So someone asked how to keep your tent dry. I mean, if it's lashing, like, I actually have no answer. And I also don't really know, because I've been very lucky in my years of festivaling. I've only had one very bad kind of weather experience, and that was Body and Soul 3 years ago. It did rain all day, but all the stuff, like, everything kind of gets damp, but nothing is like wet. I don't know, once you have, because as I was saying live 2 years ago, we forgot to put the little thing on the top of the tent, but we got a different tent like last year, and I still have that tent now. It doesn't have that thing on the top. So once you have a waterproof tent, and if it does have the gap on the bottom, once you put the thing on the top, sorry, once you put the thing over, it should be fine. As I said, just keep anything you feel necessary to be dry, like, keep it in a plastic bag. I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing you can actually really do, I think. Never had a horrifically bad wet tent. So someone said, what tan do you use and how do you keep it looking so good during festival season? So at the moment, my go-to tan is Cocoa Brown, the 1 hour extra dark. I don't really think I do keep it looking so good during festival season, because I just find it comes off so easily. I'm sweating and sleeping in the tent and just all of that. I don't know, just kind of, so before festival, I guess I'll say what I do for my tan. I would probably start tanning like the Tuesday and just do a layer every single day, so that it's like really dark on day 1, and then by day 2 and day 3 obviously it's faded, but like you still look dark because you were like extra dark the first day. What I'm gonna do for EP this year though, I might bring some tan as well, just because I know All Together Now I sweated off like so much tan around my stomach, and it wasn't really a nice look when I had my crop top on the next day. Do you lock your tent, or how do you prevent your drink from being robbed? I've never locked my tent because people can slash the side of it with a knife anyway, and I feel like anyone who's the type of person to be robbing a tent, is the type of person that's going to slash a tent if there's a lock on it. Never actually had a problem with my tent being robbed. I find people are pretty sound, and me and my friends we always have like a big circle when we are at a festival, so there's normally kind of always someone at the circle. Yeah, I don't know, I think people are sound enough. Just don't leave anything like extremely valuable in the tent, and don't have your drink like blatantly exposed. Where it's good to buy unique festival clothes and accessories in Dublin. This one's hard because my festival style anyway, I kind of have to always order stuff online. But I think any of the vintage shops, so Nine Crows, Total Vintage, even Lucy's Lounge, you could get like a few costumey bits there, which could be like really cool. Dublin Vintage Factory, and then I think all of the charity shops on Georgia Street as well. Just to add again for the accessories, obviously Festi Fox, and as I said, you can get shipping up until I think Tuesday. What clothes do you bring to keep warm but still look cool? So my key for this answer is always bring a fur coat, especially to Electric Picnic. It's always so cold during the night time because it's obviously later in the year, it's September. So yeah, I always just bring a fur coat. I think just a good coat, it doesn't even have to be a fur coat, but just a good coat, like that's cool. Because also I feel like, because I always wear like obviously sometimes short stuff on my legs and stuff, and people are like, are you not freezing? But I think if your torso is warm, like most of the time your legs are warm. If you're wearing boots or something as well, then it's only actually like a small portion of your leg that's exposed to the cold, and if you're dancing you don't feel the cold anyway. Someone else said, do you feel any pressure to have to look good / amazing / have amazing clothes for every festival? I wouldn't say I feel pressure, but like, I mean, obviously, like I don't feel like I have to, but like obviously I want to, because I think that's what people know me for. Like festival is my niche, I guess, in this like wonderful world of like social media. Like I guess that's my niche. So I mean, obviously, yeah, there's a bit of pressure, and I do stress myself out over like outfits and stuff like that, but I don't think that's coming from what other people think. I think that's just me wanting, like, it's my one time of year where I get to go full-blown creative with my clothes and stuff like that. And I've said before, my clothes are my art. So I do feel pressure, but it's pressure that I put on myself, not pressure that other people have put on me. What's the best festival you've been to so far, if you could pick one? I always have said Body and Soul is my favorite festival, but then I went to All Together now and I just loved it. It was such a gorgeous festival, so one of those two. I don't really know, and I really want to go to a few abroad festivals next year. Any tips with fake IDs? Is EP 18s? I actually don't know. Possibly. Like, I don't think I've ever been ID'd at EP. Actually, up until this year, I can put my hands up and say I'd never been ID'd at any festival. And then I went to Life for my 3rd year in a row, and they wouldn't let me in until I got a picture of my passport, and there was no service there. But I don't know whether that was just because it was Life and it's quite, the crowd was expected to be quite young. Oh, I don't know, I'm like too old to know about fake IDs. But yeah, I don't know, I'd say just have one in case, but I think it's like unlikely that you're going to be asked about a fake ID. So someone said, where do you draw your inspo from? For my festival looks, I just trawl through Instagram. I mainly, a lot of the time, will look at Burning Man pictures because it's the best festival in the world, I guess. Renowned for being like a creative festival, and people get so creative with their outfits and stuff like that. So that would be my main kind of place for inspo. I always try to like reinvent myself when I do get creative. Someone said last minute outfit ideas. Honey, go to my Depop. I'm selling loads of my old clothes. That's the best I can say there. Someone said best way to not get caught shagging in a tent. Shag in a tent, like it's your tent. Like once it's safe, who cares? Like your friends might embarrass you, but it's not illegal. No one can give out to you, so have fun. I think that is all of the questions for now anyway. If you do have any more between this video and EP, you can just message me on Instagram and I will answer, comment down below, all that type of stuff. But I also just want to say, if you are going to Electric Picnic and it's your first festival, I think the most important thing, even if it's not your first festival, just try not to get too in bits. I've got to a point where I'm like, you just have so much more fun when you're in a good state of mind. Try to keep your friends around you and have your phone on you. Try not to wander off. Again, queen of doing that, and it always just lands me in trouble. So I think obviously drink responsibly. If you are doing anything other than drinking, just make sure you're doing it safely, and again, always have your friends around you and kind of know where medical tents and stuff like that are, just in case you do feel unwell at any point over the weekend. And just have a good time. Like, it's like, festivals are amazing. It's like leaving reality for like 3 days. You just go, you get to wear whatever you want, everyone's happy. Like that would be my best advice. Try to obviously get drunk and have a dance and have a good time, but don't get so drunk that you don't enjoy yourself, because there's actually nothing worse than leaving a festival and being like, I don't remember what I did. So yeah, have fun, have an amazing weekend. If you are there and you see me, come up and say hello, because I love when people do that. Because it's just nice to be able to say hey to all of the people that like my clothes, I guess. But yeah, so that's it, and I hope you like this video. If you have, please make sure to hit like, leave a comment, and if you're not already subscribed, please make sure you do hit subscribe. And happy EP weekend, honeys. Love y'all. I just wanted to say one last thing about the food. I used to be the person that ate like nothing at festivals, and now I eat like 3 meals a day at a festival, sometimes 4, because the food is so tasty. Go to Vegan Queen, she's stunning.